So today is the WNBA trade deadline. Not over yet. Not quite over yet, but close to being over. And Lin Dunn has not made a mid-season move, except for cutting Celeste Taylor. Look, bringing in Demir Stantis does not look that bad in hindsight. Look, she's had some good games. She's had some atrocious games. She's not as good as Temi when she comes back. Demir Stantis should be back to DMPs, but she won't be. Either way, not the worst thing. But, this team is crying out for a mid-season trade. Not only that, the Sun traded for Mabry. If you're looking at top 6 teams, the Lynx traded for Hines Allen, who is a real good backup 4. Kind of big. She can play the 5 a bit. She would have been, as good as Nalissa Smith. Hines Allen's a borderline starter level player. She's a really good player. She goes and gets signed by the Lynx. The Storm pick up Gabby Williams. The Aces, obviously, they got Tiffany Hayes earlier in the year. The Mercury pick up Monique Billings, who is Temi but doesn't get injured. Who is a perfect player to pick up. And there's been no trades or anything. And then the Liberty are probably going to go and end up signing Maureen Johannes this year. So they're probably going to get better. So all the teams around her are getting better. And also, if the Mystics just got rid of Misha Hines Allen, there is a player that is almost certainly available that will help the Indiana Fever, especially because she takes all of the Erica Wheeler minutes and has now been relegated to a bench role for her team. If you guys have been watching this channel, you guys know who that player available probably is going to be. Julie Van Loo. The perfect player to come off the bench for this team as a spark plug. A person who can run the point, not as well as Caitlin Clark, but just wants to play at a breakneck speed like Caitlin Clark. She just wants to run. She wants to run, she passes ahead, she does some crazy dumb things, but does some great things on the floor as well. Having her as that backup for those 5 or 6 minutes a game, where Caitlin Clark is off the floor, the team doesn't lose anything stylistically. It's not like when you put Erica Wheeler on the floor and she walks the ball down the floor. When Erica Wheeler walks the ball in the floor. And not only that, we saw in the Olympics, Julie Van Loo can just turn on Kelsey Mitchell mode. She's not as good as Kelsey Mitchell, but she can turn on Kelsey Mitchell mode where she can just light up and just start chucking mad shots and hit 3 threes in a row. If you look at the Olympics women's basketball, I'm pretty sure she had, did she have nearly 30 in the bronze medal game? I think she had a ridiculously good bronze medal game. So I watched all of the Belgium games because I love the way Belgium play basketball. I think as far as their movement and the way they run that European style motion offense, I don't think there are many teams do it better. Just their talent wise, just didn't have it. But Julie Van Loo in this game, what did she have? She had 26 points. She had 26 points in the bronze medal game. And again, she had some garbage games, but she had a 14 or 13 point quarter or something against America. She is a live wire player who can not only be a backup for Caitlin Clark, can be a Kelsey Mitchell backup. She's not as good a point guard as Caitlin Clark. She's not as good a crazy shoot everything 2 guard as Kelsey Mitchell. But you know who she's better than at both of those roles? Erica Wheeler. She's on a minimum salary. This Washington Mystics team are just stacking up. They just traded away Hines Allen for basically a second. You know who salary matches? Christy Wallace. Christy Wallace's salary matches. You know who salary matches? Victoria Saxton. Just one of them. Just one of them. They don't play. When was the last time either of them got on the court? I can't even remember. The last time Saxton, to be fair, did they both play in the garbage time? They both played garbage time. Saxton has not played a meaningful minute in her WNBA career. Christy Wallace. I was looking back at some of the games, and it was a load of Caitlin Clark's best assists. The amount of times she assisted to Christy Wallace, where Christy Wallace fumbles the ball and somehow makes a layup. It was crazy. Christy Wallace couldn't even get burned for Australia in the Olympics. She was getting DNPs in the Olympics. And I know, I get it. Australia got the bronze. But they barely beat Belgium. She was on the All-Olympic team. You could definitely just give up a second. You could go Christy Wallace in a second for Julie Van Loo. The Wizards or the Mystics would say yes. She's coming off the bench. They are trying to tank. They are trying to tank. This is a team that wants Paige Beckers. They might not re-sign her next year. She probably is going to go back to Europe next year. She's probably just going to play the year in Europe and just say, screw this, I played in the WNBA. But, like, that's probably what's going to happen. But as a backup in Indiana, someone who can play with Caitlin Clark, can replace Caitlin Clark. She obviously can't play with Clark and Mitchell, but she can give you 12 minutes a game as a backup for Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, as Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell give you 32 minutes a game. And on some games where she's hot and Kelsey Mitchell's off, she can play 18 minutes and Kelsey Mitchell can play 22 minutes. Like, imagine having a player that you can put on the floor as a backup at either the 1 or the 2, that the first thought you see when they're on the floor is, oh dear God, is not, oh dear God, no. Oh dear God, no, Erica Wheeler's on the floor. Like, look, Erica Wheeler, I think there are teams she can be a good backup point guard for in the WNBA. The Indiana Fever is not one of them. This is a team that looks lost. Like, they look absolutely lost when Caitlin Clark is not on the floor. Kelsey Mitchell starts doing her Julian Newman impression, taking 17 dribbles and shooting step back foot on the line 2s again. Lexi Hull looks like Lexi Hull of the last 2 years. Like, these players look absolutely lost. And it's not, again, that's not saying, oh, Caitlin Clark is like the reason they're good. No, because it is when Caitlin Clark's on the floor, they play a system. They play a specific system where the players now know how to run, they know where to run, they know where to be on and off the ball, and then you've got a point guard who's going to find these players. Like, at the end of the day, if the players don't finish the plays, the point guard is just passing the ball and they're missing. So it is a system where everyone needs to play their role, and they look really freaking good doing it. The problem is, when Erica Wheeler's on the floor, they can't play that system. Julie Van Loo is a player that you can literally bring in for that system. Lin Dunn, please, you've got a few hours. You've developed Hall of Fame Twitter fingers. You're tweeting like 15 times a day. You are, like, I'm pretty sure, like, she's now discovering new emojis right now and just spamming emojis and stuff. Like, Lin Dunn, pick up the phone. The Mystics are losing again. They're losing to the Seattle Storm. Pick up the phone, call the Mystics and be, look, we know you're trying to lose. We know Van Loo's not coming back next year. We know Jade Melbourne is your backup point guard of the future, and you're going for Paige Beckers. And if you don't get Paige Beckers with one of your picks, you are drafting Olivia Miles, because they've got like a 50% chance of the first pick and they can't physically drop below 3 with the way the draft is, unless obviously Atlanta go into the playoffs, which changes everything if Atlanta go into the playoffs, because now they no longer have the best odds in the lottery. But again, you are trying to lose. You don't, like, because LA are trying to lose, and it is a tankathon between the two of yous. You're looking for Paige, and if you don't get Paige, you're drafting Olivia Miles. We know this. We know who you are drafting. You are drafting a point guard to start, and Jade Melbourne can be your backup point guard. We know Van Loo's gone. You can get a second out of this. You can get a second out of us. But we want to make a push this year, and we're going to try to get off Christy freaking Wallace, who doesn't play anymore. Give us a 1-2. We're going to give you a dog who can probably give you 10 minutes off the bench and not embarrass herself in Christy Wallace. And you give us our Caitlin Clark backup. Is that a fair trade? I think the Mystics do it. And I think it would make the Fever better.